Hello, everyone. Miss Debbie here with some stories for your listening pleasure. Today, two stories, short and sweet. And the first one is called Pretzel by Margaret Rey, with pictures by H.A Rey. So you would recognize the pictures because it's the same artist and author that does Curious George that you love so much. Now, have you ever seen a little dog like this? A dachshund. Uh, you don't see too many anymore. They're kind of cute. They got a long body and short little legs, and they're just adorable. And this one, his name, I think it's a him, is Pretzel. So, Hoot and Mifflin Company is the publisher. And look at there's Pretzel when Pretzel was a little baby. Aw. Maybe you have a puppy at home or want to get one. One morning in May, 5 little dachshunds were born. Mother dogs have a bunch of puppies all at one time. One of them was Pretzel. They grew up the way puppies do, and they all looked exactly alike the first few weeks. There's Pretzel, and then Paul, Patricia, Priscilla, and Percival. Look at the fly on the milk bowl. Did you notice that all of their names start with a P? But after 9 weeks, Pretzel suddenly started growing and growing and growing. He grew much longer than any of his brothers and sisters. And when he was fully grown, he had become the longest dachshund in the whole wide world. Pretzel was very pleased with himself because it is very distinguished for a dachshund to be so long. When he was 1 year old, a dachshund is grown up at age 1. He won the blue ribbon at the dog show, which means that everybody considered him the best looking dog of all. Do you know anybody, maybe an aunt or an uncle, who are just so enamored of dog shows? I have a couple of friends like that. They just love dogs, and they go to dog shows and they show their dogs in dog shows, and all the dogs admired Pretzel, and all the people admired him too. Only Greta didn't. Ooh, there's Greta. Greta was the little dachshund from across the street. Pretzel was in love with her and wanted to marry her. And here, look, they live in apartment buildings in a city. Isn't that fun? But Greta just laughed at him. I don't care for long dogs, she said, but it is very distinguished for a dachshund to be so long, and I won the blue ribbon at the dog show, said Pretzel. I still don't care, said Greta. Pretzel was hurt, but he did not show it. Please marry me, he said, and I will do anything for you. Prove it, said Greta, and went away. So Pretzel set out to prove it. First, he brought Greta a nice big bone. Thanks for the bone, said Greta, but I won't marry you for that. I don't care for long dogs, and she ate the bone and forgot about Pretzel. Pretzel had to try something else. He gave her the lovely green rubber ball he had been given for his birthday. Thank you, said Greta, but I still won't marry you because I don't care for long dogs. Besides, everybody can give presents, and she ran away with the ball. Look what I can do. Nobody except me can do that, said Pretzel when they met again. And this is what he did. Woo-hoo, he looks like Pretzel. Not bad, said Greta. Your name certainly fits you, but I like the pretzels at the baker's better, and I still don't care for long dogs. Pretzel was very unhappy. Some weeks had passed, and Greta hadn't even spoken to Pretzel. One day, while she was playing with her green ball, it bounced away. Greta tried to catch it, and boomps, they both landed in a hole. And the sign says, "Danger, men at work." And look, they landed in the hole. Greta tried to get out of the hole, but she couldn't. It was much too deep. She was terribly scared. If nobody came to save her, she might never. Just then, Pretzel's face appeared over the edge of the hole. "I'll get you out of there," he shouted. He had watched Greta all the time, and now had rushed to help her. How good that Pretzel was so long. "I believe you saved my life. You are wonderful," said Greta with a sigh. "Will you marry me now?" asked Pretzel. "I will," said Greta, "but not for your length." So they kissed each other. Doggy kisses. And they got married. Ooh, look, they're going to the church. And all their friends are going too. And one morning in May, 5 little dachshunds were born. Cute, and some look like Pretzel and some look like Greta. And they lived happily ever after. The end. Isn't that the sweetest book? I like it. It's an old book. Should we see what date it was written and published? 1944. That was before I was born. Whoa. Maybe it was when your grandmother was born. Maybe even before that. Wow. Here is a wonderful book called The Invisible String, and I hope you come to borrow this because I love it, by Patricia Karst and illustrated by Joanne Lew-Vriethoff. I love the pictures. Pink is my favorite color. This is published by Little Brown and Company in New York. You might, if you came to the library, see we have a display of kite books. I don't know if you've ever flown a kite, but here it looks like the kite is a heart. Kite flying is hard to do, actually. You run, you have this kite on a string, and you run and run and run until the wind grabs it, and then it flies high in the sky. This is dedicated to the children of the world and the magic of their strings. So, you have a magic string too. Liza and Jeremy, the twins, were asleep one calm and quiet night. Look at that. Do you sleep kind of like sprawled out on the bed? Suddenly, it began to rain very hard. Thunder rumbled until it got so loud that it woke them up. "Mommy, Mommy," they cried out as they ran to her. Mommy was still awake, sitting in her chair, probably reading a book. "Don't worry, you two. It's just the storm making all that noise. Go back to bed." "We want to stay close to you," said Jeremy. "We're scared." Mom said, "You know that we're always together, no matter what." Look at the lightning in the sky. "But how can we be together when you're out here and we're in bed?" said Liza. Mom held something right in front of her and said, "This is how." Rubbing their sleepy eyes, the twins came closer to see what Mom was holding. "I was about your age when my mommy first told me about the invisible string. So when it's invisible, it's there, but you can't see it." "I don't see a string," said Jeremy. You don't need to see the invisible string. People who love each other are always connected by a very special string made of love. But if you can't see it, how do you know it's there? Asked Liza. Even though you can't see it with your eyes, you can feel it with your heart and know that you are always connected to everyone you love. When you're at school and you miss me, your love travels all the way along the string until I feel it tug my heart. And when you tug it right back, we feel it in our hearts, said Jeremy. Does Jasper the cat have an invisible string? Liza asked. She sure does, said Mom. And best friends like me and Lucy? Asked Liza. Best friends too. How far can the string reach? Anywhere and everywhere, Mom said. Would it reach me even if I were a submarine captain deep in the ocean? Asked Jeremy. Yes, Mom said, even there. That looks like fun. Or a mountain climber? Even there. Wow. A dancer in France? Even there. A jungle explorer? Yes, even there. How about an astronaut in space? Even there. Wow. Then Jeremy quietly asked, can my string reach all the way to Uncle Brian in heaven? Yes, even there. That's wonderful. Does the string go away when you're mad at us? Oops, they're making a mess painting the wall. Never, said Mom. Love is stronger than anger, and as long as love is in your heart, the string will always be there. Even when you get older and can't agree about things like what movie to see or what game to play in the backseat of the car or what time to go to bed. Oh, that's right, you two. You should be in bed. And with that, they all laughed as Mom chased the twins back to their bed. The storm is still going on outside. Within a few minutes, they were asleep, even though the storm was still making the same loud noises outside. As they slept, they started dreaming of all the invisible strings they have and all the strings their friends have and their friends have, until everyone in the world was connected by invisible strings. And from deep inside, they now could clearly see. No one is ever alone. Isn't that a beautiful picture? Because you have an invisible string. Is it connected to me? Mine is connected to you. Thank you for listening to those stories, and stay tuned for some more next time. Bye.